All right, good evening, Doozer Shop here. Wanted to make another quick video on the the one-way clutch, the Sprag clutch that I took apart and cleaned and took all the rust off. Let's just get back into it, and I'll try to get you a good camera angle here. I got the tripod Aruski. All right. So there it is. You might remember, man, I don't know if I can show you this. Let's just kind of go after it. So that's the Sprag put together, right? And here is the clutch drum. There's the input gear, the output is that spline keyed bore there. So this is pretty cool. Da, da, da. Roll that joke around. No, it drops in there. So the deal is, let's see, it goes free spin this way, and it locks up like crazy that way, right? Free spin and locks up. So that's how a Sprag clutch works. So I think this was forged. You can kind of see I mean, it looks like it could have been just rusted, but I think this is a forging. It's a forging, not a turning, right? And the reason that's a hardened insert. I believe is why that's two-piece and keyed and da-da-da-da. It's kind of a little weird marking in there. You can see the step over from the lathe tool, but that's the only spot. I think it didn't clean up when they ground it. I'm sure this was internally ground. But anyhow, so here is the roller clutch, right? And what I had to do to assemble this, those rollers are just kind of, you have to put all the rollers in the slots of the cage, and then insert the stop sign, the octagon. So what I did, I got these magnets. So I put a magnet, right, right on the steel cage, right next to each slot, and it held in the roller pins, the dowel pins, while I inserted the octagon cam piece. So that worked pretty well using 8 magnets or whatever. I thought grease or Vaseline or something, but that seemed to work. I'll take this apart. There we go, show you. Let me just point it there. Okay. So this is that male threaded piece there, right? This is what it is, and that screws in to there, and there's just a spacer in there. Got to keep this centered. There's a spacer in there. I'm not going to take that out. But anyhow, let's see here. This pulls off, right? And that's cupped inside there, right? And this just kind of, it just sits on there. I had trouble keeping things centered on the screen. So, and you can see the staining of where the spline piece sits. Now, put this up at the top. Why not? So the deal is, I had to make this pin, right? And it just to get the whole works off, you got to knock it out. You can see in there, you got to take a 1/8 inch punch or whatever and knock that out. It's 3/16 diameter. So to get that out, then you take out the snap ring. I didn't show the snap ring, I think, in the last video. It was disintegrated. I actually went to the hardware store and paid $1.65 for a new external snap ring. It's an 1 3/4 snap ring. And the deal is with that spring that wraps around is it pretensions the, I'm going to try to do this without dorking the spring off. See how the rollers are biased to one side, right? That's what the spring does. So this outer, try to, like I said, let me stick my fingers in there. There. Now, you can see it's at the low point of the octagon. And what that does, see how it's, try to keep it, the spring, basically it forces and it ramps out the rollers, right? So the rollers are in and it ramps it out. So that's what the spring, let me stick my fingers in there again. Oh, it kind of hurts. It's at the bottom now, but that's what the spring does. It hooks. All right, see, there we go. Let me try to back. All right. See how it, one end of the spring's hooked to that pin, which is on the spliney part, the internal part, and the other end of the spring is hooked on a little tang. See, that tang is a little stamped out tangy tang on the cage, the roller cage. And it wraps around, and that's what makes the Sprag work, is that spring acting between the hub, let's say the internal hub, and the outer cage. So it'll boing off of there if I monkey with it, but that's what it is, right? Kind of show you again. There's relaxed theoretical position and it ramps out. So that's where these rollers, and they literally jam, they expand outwards, they jam on the inside of that drum. And it's called a Sprag. It's called a one-way clutch. I've heard them called diode Sprags. I guess it's an electrical reference where current flows one direction. Motion only goes one direction. These are a very, very similar form of these are in automatic transmissions on the drums in transmissions. So anyhow, so because this guy is dished out, it's like it protects, right? It goes on and protects the spring and all that mechanism and, from damage and from popping out. So yeah, the spring cannot pop out. Turn that. Yeah, the spring can't pop out with that piece on there, and you can see the internal threads in that little spacer ring. It's just sitting in there. But there you go. Now it's down. It was just kind of flopping in there. So let me put this dude back in. It's a little bearing nut. Bolt, I guess you'd call it. And like I said, it's cool. They Rockford engraves numbers on all their stuff, part numbers. And then it just goes inside here, and they're out, so you got to kind of twist it. Come on. All right, and it's in, right? So it goes this way, and it locks this way. And I mean, this locks with many, many, many foot-pounds of torque. To get this to slip would be like probably 100 foot-pounds of torque to make that slip or more. It just, the expansion of those rollers just puts a lot of hoop stress in this drum. and that's got to be why that's hardened. And like I say, on this side is the gear that meshes with that rack. And can you see the key at 12 o'clock? See the key in there? Thin wall key situation. I don't know why everything's kind of thin, but it has not broken yet. God, I can't really show you. I had to make a new spring pin holder. This thing is so corroded down to nothing, right? I took some artistic liberties on the lathe. I made it out of 1144 piece of steel because I had it. And the spring was just rotten in 2 pieces, you know, so I ended up, you know, getting a new spring. I had the spring, and of course the key goes back in. So that's it with this guy. I just wanted to kind of make a video to document all the good love and parts going back together. I mean, if anybody's got a Rockford planer, you know, this might be helpful. And I want to say thank you to Reese. I think his name is Reese Atchinson. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. But Reese has a YouTube channel where he's got planers. And I think he left a couple comments and sent me a couple emails. Super nice dude. If you're interested in planers, check out Reese's channel. It's funny. I had the Reese Jacks, and I meet this fella named by the same name. So super nice guy. Thank you, Reese, for reaching out to me and corresponding with the emails. So anyways, Rockford planer, clutch, one-way clutch, Sprag, whatever you want to call it. It's a work night, so I'm going to make it short. Talk to you later, Doozer Shop.